common Facebook ad mistakes you are probably guilty of. Before we jump right in, who am I and why you should listen to me? I'm Jim. I've been running ads for 10 years. I have over 300,000 students all over the world, and I've been running ads for big companies like Coca-Cola, New Balance, Big, Phrases Property, and Candela. All right, if you're ready, let's jump in. Your audiences are too small. Yes, what do I mean by small? Below 1 million. If you're living in a small country, let's say Slovakia, Slovenia, where the population is not that big, okay, that's a unique case. But if you are targeting United States, Australia, United Kingdom, Canada, or whole Europe, your audience size minimum should be 1 million. Actually, Facebook and Meta suggest at least 2 million, but you should definitely aim to be at around 1 million. But I know what you're gonna say. There's only 10,000 people in my whole country that are doing this specific product or job that I want to target them. But yes, still Facebook needs that data points, touch points for it to optimize a little bit better. Yes, you can narrow it down a little bit, but the minimum I suggest is 1 million again, even though you are targeting a really specific audience. Your targeting will be done by your creative. Number 2 is focusing too much on lookalike audiences. Yes, lookalikes were performing like crazy back in the days, but now Meta is evolving, and me and all of my other colleagues, they've all been experiencing this drop in lookalike performances. I don't know what it is. Meta has been onto something recently. In the last year, the performance of lookalike audiences are dropping drastically. If you've been testing, A/B testing, broad targeting versus lookalike audiences, even if you have a list of, let's say, 100,000 people, the performance is not there, and it takes way longer for you to see great results. But broad audiences or just a simple audience targeting, if you have over 1 million, of course, you will still see better results when you're avoiding those lookalikes. You can still test them, but keep this in mind. Number 3, not testing your creatives frequently enough. Testing creatives is not just testing us versus them type of creatives, not just testing the hooks. You should also test unique selling propositions in your ads, have certain headlines, keep everything the same. Test that. Test music in the background of the video or without the music in the background of the video. Test different call to actions. Test with the captions on, test with the captions off. See which works better. Also, you want to start your testing with major changes. You don't want to start the test by, the music in the background or not music in the background. This is like a super specific test. You're not going to see drastic results. You want to start your tests big enough where you test unique selling propositions, where you test different environments, where the different people speaking in your user-generated content, different ad styles. You start to test, see the winners, and then you start to narrow down a little bit more once you see a clear-cut picture of which type of creative works for your business. Number 4 is overlooking the importance of the ad copy. Yes, ad copy is written by AI, and you can immediately tell this is written by AI. Empower, unlock, boost. These adjectives are overthrown like crazy when it's written by ChatGPT, of course, and the direct response copywriting, like Gary Halbert, like Joseph Sugarman, like the old school copywriters, when you see those now, they stick out. The power of copywriters are not going away, guys, because when you see a good copy written on Facebook ads or Instagram ads, you are drawn to it. You are drawn to it and read the whole thing. Yes, on story size placements or reel placements, the copy is not visible and most of us just skip it. The copy is most likely read on feed placements. That is the test I've conducted with 100 people, which is not a big sample size, but that test concluded 90% of the people read the copy when it's on feed placements. When it's on story placements, actually 67% of people skip it and don't read the copy. So keep in mind, the copy is not being read as it was used to being read, but now the importance of direct response copy is even more prominent. So keep that in mind. Number 5 is not using static ads effectively. The user-generated content has been all over the internet and it's on its way out. Yes, it is dying, guys. The tests I've been conducted and most of the marketers are telling me this. User-generated content is not performing like it used to. What is the change that you need to adapt right now is you should focus on statics. Statics, I've been seeing great results on the static advertising. And not a lot of people use this. When they think of static, they only think of the model is just posing with the product, the service, right? If it's a service business, yes, I understand. If it's a unique service, you have to use video ads because the static ads are not going to be enough to explain what you have to offer. But it's a product ad, you have ton of variations you can use when it comes to static ads. Number 6 is ignoring the creative fatigue and the frequency. Frequency should be a metric you should be always looking out for, because when you're doing broad targeting, what Meta will do, Meta will also do a lot of retargeting in that broad targeting because the frequency will go high. You will look at your audience size, it will be like 3 million, 5 million, 6 million, 20 million, 100 million, depending on the country you're in. You will see that big of an audience, but your frequency is around 3, 4, sometimes 5, even if it's a broad audience. That should raise a flag. Why? Because Meta is identifying a circle in the huge audience, and they're saying, okay, these are the type of people that are more likely to convert. I'm going to push the ads to them like crazy. How you can actually tackle that? You can increase the number of creatives that you're serving to those people. That way, the frequency per ad will go down instead of just using one ad, two winner ads that you have. You're pushing most of the budget, and people will just get bored and report your ads once they get to that point. Then what happens? Your CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions, will skyrocket, which is not a good thing to have. Number 7 is ignoring the consistency of the landing page with your ads. The reason landing page is super important, guys, you can tailor whatever you're saying on your landing page for the ad type you're running. Let's say you have a business and you have 4 different services. Instead of one generic landing page and you put all of your services in, let's say you're doing air conditioning repair. You build a specific landing page for that. You also do carpet cleaning, build a specific landing page for that. And it's when people come in there, you don't look like the guy that does everything, and you look like a more specialist in that area, which will increase your conversion rate like crazy. And also you will have better results as a business owner. Number 8 is not refreshing the creatives frequently. Refreshing means, guys, putting more creatives in. But if your performance is going great, I do not suggest you refresh the creatives for the sake of it. In the agency world, there is this common thing or the clients you might be seeing, we've been running the ads, same ads for, let's say, 3 months. But if the cost per result is great, if the return on ad spend is great and the business is making money, you have to tell the client or whoever you're working with that touching the ad set that is working is a disaster. If you are at a point that is blowing your expectations out of the window, you should not touch that ad set. That is a unique case. But if you have ads that are not performing, pause those ads and introduce the new ads, guys. If an ad is working, do not touch it. You don't need to refresh it just for the sake of refreshing it. But if the performance is not there, you're not at your KPIs, you haven't found that winning creative yet. So you have to keep testing new creatives, testing new ad formats. As I said, not only the music in the background, you have to test the unique selling propositions. You might have 6 different USPs, and each USP will have 5 different ad formats, and each ad format will have variations inside of it, right? You want to test all of those variables in an ad set, but not at the same time. Ideally, Meta suggests, depending on your budget, of course, 4 to 5 different creatives that are active running at the same time inside one ad set. Of course, if you're spending $1,000 a day, you might want to increase that number. However, if you're spending $10 to $100, I do not suggest passing the number of 4. Number 9, if you're in the agency world, you're probably aware of this: setting unrealistic expectations. Salespeople usually set those expectations, and the marketers will try to meet that expectations, which is extremely hard. But setting unrealistic expectations, even if you're a freelancer, or even if it's your business and you imagine I'm gonna get 10x ROAS on Facebook ads like it was in 2015, it's a different world now. Facebook ad is operating differently. You cannot just put the picture of the white background of the product and see 10x ROAS with laser focused targeting. It's not gonna happen, guys, unfortunately. We're in 2020, almost 5 now. Keep in mind, you have to set realistic expectations with budgets, of course. If you set $100 a budget, you have to track your lead volume or number of sales accordingly. If your product cost is $1,000, you're not gonna see a great result unless you spend $1,000 to see if your breaking even at what point, right? You have to spend 1,000. But if the product you're selling is like $10, all right, you can start $10 a day. You see if you're doing a sale a day where you break even, you're 2 sales a day, then you're making profits, so on and so forth. It depends on your budget, and you have to set realistic expectations. If Facebook ads is a magic, everybody would be a millionaire right now, but not every brand is making amazing returns on ad spend. So keep that in mind. So set realistic expectations, then start to tweak the landing page, the ad copy, the ad creative, the campaign optimizations, ad targeting, audience testing, so on and so forth. This brings us to our last point, which is overcomplicating the campaign objectives. I was guilty of this, and a lot of people still do this. They set a traffic campaign, they set an awareness campaign, because they, in their head, they think, oh, I want to increase the awareness, and those people will fall into the traffic audience, and those people visited my landing page will go to my bottom of funnel, and I will retarget them, and they will buy. So they will, in their theory, they're increasing the touch points. If the goal is sales, you should not even think about having an awareness campaign, a traffic campaign, or an engagement campaign. Those are, back in the days, little black hat tactics that are not working anymore. There was a famous tactic, actually. They were pinning a post on Facebook, on their Facebook page. It was really, Facebook was big back then, right? Not Instagram was so big. Now, if you're advertising on Australia, United States, 70% of your traffic is coming from Instagram. Back when it was like Facebook only, 90% was coming from Facebook, the traffic. They were pinning that post, and then they were actually taking that ID, putting that ID and running an engagement campaign. What Facebook will do in that case is they will show your ads to people who are more likely to react, comment, blah, blah, blah. You will get dirt cheap traffic to your ad without the goal of getting people to buy. And then you will get tons of engagements. Like, you will run it for, let's say, a couple of months. You will have hundreds of likes, hundreds of comments, and you will have a social proof underneath that ad. What they would do later, they will take that post ID, they will run it a conversion campaign, and with that engagement, they think they were tracking the Facebook algorithm with a lot of engagements, since Facebook favors engaged ads, and they will reduce your CPM. So you have that competitive advantage instead of just pushing those same creatives as a conversion campaign. Now people try to do it, they fail every single time. It is not working, guys. It is not working. It is not the case in this day and age. And with the traffic campaigns, again, it is not working, guys. That person you are targeting, let's say with an awareness campaign, a traffic campaign, they're not the type of people that are gonna buy in your retargeting campaign. Trust me, I've tested this. It is not the case at all. So kill the traffic campaigns. Have even one campaign works really well. One campaign, couple of ad sets under that campaign, one retargeting, and you don't want to have middle of funnel campaigns anymore. They don't work as well. Again, combine the middle of funnel and bottom of funnel, meaning you don't want to have those video views, 90% video views, 75% type of audiences. Just stack them in the one ad set and have a broad targeting, have a couple of audience targeting, and if you want to have one lookalike audience, 5 ad sets, one campaign. Nothing wrong, just smash the budget into that campaign and you will get better results 100% of the time. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.